Hey everyone, today we're taking a look at page 25 in your lesson book. As you can see in the yellow box, we're working on second position. Cellos, you also have to go into third and third extended. But for violins and violas, this is the first time in this book that we've worked in second position. Second position tends to be a little bit trickier than some of the other ones because it's such a small shift, especially on a violin. Here's first position and here's second position. So you barely are moving your hand at all. The one thing to look out for, and it's the same for everybody, including the cellos, is what is in your key signature, because a lot of times that second finger note or a second or third finger note, depending on what instrument you play, is the one that's sharp or natural in the key signature. So if you think on the D string, it could be an F sharp or an F natural. Same thing on the A string, C sharp or C natural. So you really have to look at the key signature because that's going to tell you if you're going to go from B on the A string, for example, from a B to a C natural, or from a B to a C sharp. So we always have to check that before we play. So we'll start with 98. And 98, you can see, has nothing in the key signature. It's in the key of C major. So as we're playing number 98, when you shift to second position, it's just a half step shift. You're going from a B to a C natural. Again, make sure that you're following the directions that they give you for where your shift is supposed to happen. You can play all of these in first position just fine, but the idea of this is we're working on second position, and there are some instances in music where it makes more sense to use second position. So here we go, 98. 1, 2, 3, 4. Good. All right, we're going to keep going here to 99. All right. I did want to mention on this page, all of our shifts are half-step shifts, but that doesn't mean that your second position always starts in the same spot. And I'm going to show you what I mean in 99. So in 99, the shift happens between the C sharp and the D. So you see we have F sharps and C sharps in our key signature. So when you shift, you're actually taking the finger you were using. It's different for every instrument, and you're moving it up a half step. So it is a half-step shift. But in this key signature, your first finger is going to be on C sharp. So that's a different spot than it was in the last exercise. I hope that makes sense. You'll see every time we shift, the actual finger that you're shifting with only moves a half step, but that's not going to necessarily tell you where your first finger goes. Okay. In this case, because it's a C sharp, you're going to have your second finger on the D and your C sharp is right under it. So in second position, this is a 1-2 pattern, close 1 and 2 for violins and violas. So here we go with 99. 1, 2, 3, 4. Awesome. Okay, looking at 100, we have two flats in our key signature, B flat and E flat. Cellos, you shift in a different spot here, so what I'm about to say does not apply to you. But for violins and violas, you can see where you have B flat. The first note for everyone is B flat, C natural, D, and then they're having a shift. So you had just played your D with your third finger. Now you're going to play that next note with your third finger. And again, it's a half step shift because it's an E flat. So here's your D, and you're just going to go up a tiny half step to an E flat. Cellos, when you shift to third position, you're going to use second finger for that E flat. Make sure you're using 1, 2, 4 when you're in third position. So here we go, number 100, starting on a B flat. Ready, and... 101. Let's see. So this time our shift is with our fourth finger. So notice you did a first finger, a little different for cellos, but you did a first finger shift, a second finger shift, a third finger shift. Now you're doing a fourth finger shift. We're in the key of C again, and our shift is from four finger E to four finger F natural. So again, a half step. Cellos, you shift in the second measure again to third position instead. But this time your finger pattern is 1, 3, 4 because you have E naturals. So here's 101. 1, 2, 3, 4. Awesome. All right, the rest of this page is focusing for violins on shifting on the E string to second position. That means violas, you get a little bit of practice on the D string going between first and third, so things that we've done already, but it doesn't hurt to review. Cellos, again, you're shifting on the D string with like 5 different positions, so watch out for those as we're playing through this. I think since I have mostly violas and cellos, I will play the viola part for this instead of the violin part. So here we go, 102. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, 103. We got to watch out on this shift here for the violas. And cellos, you have to watch out too, but for a different reason. You're not shifting, but it is a G sharp, the second note. So you can see cellos, you actually start in extended position. That first note is an F sharp, and they're having you play it with your second finger. So you're starting in extended position before you shift. And violas, your first note is an F sharp, and when you shift, you're going actually to third and a half position. They didn't write it that way in the book, but you're putting your first finger a half step higher than third position to make a G sharp. So here's 103. Ready, and. Sorry. Okay, moving on to 104. 104, we have, 104, we have a B flat in our key signature in the key of F major. And so again, just adjusting to make sure you're catching those notes. Our first note is an F natural this time. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4. And last but not least is 105. This one actually looks like one of the easier ones that we've done today. So nice to end on an easy note, I guess. We have F sharps in the key of G major. So here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, so that's all of page 25. Spend most of your time working on the second position stuff if you're a viola or cello, because I know the second half of the page is review, and we will work on this together in our lesson.